How we doing, guys? It's the Saints, man. I'm in the dark. It's Friday. It's 5:15, and I am in near Colville. It's a village. I can't think what it's called. I'm at a residential address. I'm waiting for two fitters to turn up to unload the pallet on the back, and they're not getting here till 6 o'clock. So, although it's dark, you can see me better without my hat on. Take my hat off. I'll do this week's because I know how many miles it is to get home and roughly what time I'm going to get home and everything. So, week in life, it's been a really good week. One of the best weeks I've had for a long while, and I've worked hard at it. But yeah, it's been pretty good. Fuel cards. If you see Pete the trucker is now, used to be Pete the Curry. See, last Sunday he recommended Express fuel cards. I think what they're called, Express fuel cards. And I got in touch with them and spoke with a nice man called Drew and had a chat, and I've signed up, and we'll see how we get on with that. I haven't got the card yet. Everything's set up, the mandate and all that, but I haven't actually got the card. That's going to come next week, and we'll see. Hopefully they'll undercut UK fuels. I'm going to cut one of my UK fuel cards out. Right, I say a good week. Busy week, and also quite interesting week as well, with the work we've done. I got a job booked in on Monday, and it was Northampton to Nottingham, and then I went to see our good friend Clive at Roadrunners, and because he knew I was going to be in Nottingham, and when I went to their offices, really nice guys, and had a quick chat with them, and I'd got a job then. Not for them, they haven't got any jobs there going, but I got a job from Nottingham to Luton Airport, which suited me fine, got me back down south, and I actually delivered it to the airport itself, express drop-off, and it was 2 boxes going to Portugal, weren't massive boxes, and I met a guy there who was doing the delivering and taking them, going with the packages to Portugal, so it's quite interesting. And then I picked up Northampton for Wellingborough, which was just a small box, which I left at a unit, and that was a really tiddly little job. But again, it just paid a little bit of money, topped my money up, so that was all good. And then I had to pay Luton parking. If you go into the express drop-off, it's £7 for 10 minutes. Anything over 10 minutes, £1 a minute. It's just fucking a license to print money. But that was included in the cost. They added that onto my thing when I was at Luton. Tuesday, I got a job, and it was going to Wickford. I dropped one in Wellingborough the night before, and there was 2 more boxes to go to Wickford, which I dropped them off in the morning. I had a really good day on Tuesday. And from Wickford, I managed to get a job then from Basildon to St Albans, which was just 2 small pieces of metal. Got well paid for that. And then I got another job from Enfield to Raleigh. Now, you'd have thought, why take that back to Southend? It's because I'd already got a job booked in from Rochford, and it was delivered the next morning in Wigan. So I'd got to stay down there to pick this job up from Rochford. And I managed to get a job down to Raleigh, which is right near Rochford. It's only 5 miles away. So it really knitted in nicely. And I picked the one, it was from Rochford, which is Southend. It was behind Southend Airport. And put that in the van, and I've got that to deliver to Wigan the next morning at 9 o'clock. So it all flowed. Doesn't happen very often, but it did. Delivered the next morning on Wednesday. I was at Wigan. It was for the town hall. It was electronic equipment. They're having all new upgrades, and I was there at 20 to 9, and the guys were there 5 to 9, the 2 guys, 27 boxes off. Brilliant, all good. And I managed to get a job quite quickly, and it was from Wigan to Stoke-on-Trent, but it wasn't JCB. And that went great. That was a big pallet. That was a heavy pallet, a 450 kilo pallet, which was fine. The van takes it, but no problem. And we dropped that off in, it wasn't Stoke-on-Trent. It was sort of slightly south of Stoke-on-Trent, just outside. And I managed to get a job from Stone, which again is not too far away, to Warwick. Well, it was Warwick. It was a hospital at the Warwick University, I think. Nuffield won the private one. And I got one small item for that. So that flowed. And again, Warwick to home, well, where I was, it was 30 miles away. So not much dead mileage. And then I got a phone call from Roadrunners, where I'd been, Nottingham. Would I be interested in doing a job from Rugby down to Grays on Thursday, which I happily accepted. And I picked it up Rugby on Thursday morning, which is yesterday, and took that down to Grays, which is obviously just the right side of Dartford. So you haven't got to get over the bridge and you get it delivery. And I think that's quite a good area normally. And it proved to be okay. I did get a job from Tilbury to Slough, which I accepted. Got really good money for that. I've got to go over the bridge and round to Slough, but really good money. But it got cancelled. It was only 7 miles from it. And I drove 2 miles and the shipper phoned. He went, "You'll have to stop. They can't get it on your van." It was 1.75 metres tall. So it was never going to go on my van. My van's 1.2 and a bit. But even a short wheelbase van, they needed either a Luton or something with a big that could take 1.75. So we agreed a cancellation fee, and it was a good cancellation fee. I would have probably accepted a slightly less, but he said no, it's the fault of the customer, and he virtually paid me 2/3 of what it would have the job was. So with that, I could be quite picky. And then I got a job not too far away. It's about 15 miles away. Picking up and going to Houghton Regis, which is obviously Dunstable area, around that area. Again, great for home. And did that job, nice and easy. 1 pallet, again, another heavy pallet. It was from Bolton Cross, Boyton, Bolton Cross. It was at a farm, and it's got about 30 units on this farm. And they didn't even flow. They didn't go 1, 2, 3, 4. They were like, it was like they'd got the numbers, chucked them up in the air and pick it out, and that's what your number is. But we picked the pallet up. Again, it was a good old lump. It was 400 kilos. So I've been carrying some heavy stuff this week. And we got that done. Nice and easy. And then I got a phone call, I got a message, a job picking up in Wellingborough this morning, 8 o'clock, 7:45, pick up 8 o'clock. And it was going up to Skipton, North Yorkshire. Normally on a Friday, I don't take long distance stuff. But I work for a shipper who I know well, and I put a quote in, virtually £1 a mile, because I don't really like going long distance Friday. I like to finish early. Yeah, look at that. That's gone out the window. But I thought, well, if I go up there and deliver it, even if I don't get nothing back, I'm sure I'll get something back, but it shouldn't be too long a day. How wrong can you be? And I delivered it, and it bucketed down. It was going to a communications mast in the middle of nowhere, right at the top of a hill. I couldn't get my van up the hill on the field. The field was about 300 or 400 yards long. I see the 2 tracks had gone up. That was with a 4x4. My van wouldn't touch it. I went through the gate, middle of nowhere, completely middle of nowhere, down a track, wouldn't even touch it. The big problem was no phone signal. We're doing a communications mast, no phone signal whatsoever. So I couldn't get in touch with them. And it was drizzling. I thought, I can walk this up. It's 2 boxes. It wasn't heavy. I'll walk it. So I put my waterproof top on, put a cover over the boxes, and I started walking up this hill, grass this long, and it was like, Jesus, it was wet and soggy. And halfway up, the rain got slightly worse. By the time I'd reached the corner where the mast was, there was 2 guys working there, and I shouted over. It was pissing down. It was absolutely biblical. They wasn't the riggers. They were electricians, but he said, we can take it and put it in they've got a concrete, like a garage type thing, a concrete building underneath it. We could take it and put it in that, and we'll sign for it. My God, it rained. I went back to the van. I got a waterproof jacket, so the top was fine. I was soaked through. Nightmare. That was this morning. I'm still wet now. My trousers are still damp now. But we got the job done, and never let it be said that Saintsman doesn't deliver, because I got the job done. And I phoned up the shipper. He was helpless. He was laughing his head off. He offered me extra tenner, I think, for me washing, but I'd already logged the job off. I said, no, don't worry. So, yeah, bit of a pain. And then I picked a job up. I was coming straight home. Turned around. It was lashing of rain. I couldn't be asked to do jobs up there. I didn't want a short job. But there was a job on there from Elland to Colville, which 90 miles. It was a small van job. I put £80 on it. And I got it. So I thought, that's great, because Colville, it's literally just off the M1. I can jump off the M1, deliver it back on the M1. Lovely. And when I got to the company I was picking up from, they hadn't picked it. There was a wait, which is a bit of a pain on a Friday. But I phoned the shipper up. He was happy to pay waiting time. And I waited 50 minutes in total, which, yeah, not good. But it happens. And then they brought it out. And it was a small van job. And it only just fitted in my van. It's in the back now. And it was 5 big boxes on a pallet, a big pallet, like a double. And literally, one of the boxes is like 80 kilos. So it's a big battery. It's like solar stuff. It's like not a battery, a container to put the battery in. But it's a real steel, heavy container where these things are going to sit. So I phoned up the shipper to say, look, there's the waiting time, obviously, but there's another issue. I've sent a photo. Have a look at the photo, see what you think. Never going to go on a small van. Never going to go on a midi van. It just fits on my van, just height-wise and length-wise. He agreed. That's totally out of order. And are you happy to take it? And I'll sort with the customer out extra payment. I went, yeah, no problem. I says, it's going to a residential address, though. So I need to know, is there anyone going to be there? We've got to get it off. They've got to keep the pallet. And we need help getting it off. No problem. Anyway, phones me back. He's a lovely bloke. His name's Adam. He works for, obviously, he works for shipper. He says, just any problems. He says, and then he phoned me back. He said, this is going badly wrong. He says, there's no one going to be there. The fitters are not there. They're not going to be there till tomorrow. I said, okay, so what happens? He says, can you deliver it on a Saturday? I said, well, I can, but I am going to Northampton. It's going to cost a fair bit extra money. Do you want to? So we agreed what the money would be, so I'll have to put it to the customer. Anyway, he come back. He says, there's going to be someone there at 5:45 to 6 o'clock. Can you, if I pay you waiting time, can you wait there tonight for them? Which is what I'm doing now. And they will come and collect it off you tonight. Someone be there between 5:45 and 6 o'clock to unload it, which suits me better. It means I'm not going to come back here tomorrow. I mean, it is 52 miles away from my house. So I've got to travel another 50 odd mile tomorrow, 50 mile back. Yes, I'm getting paid extra, but nah. So that's the week. A really good week. Every day. Monday was my lowest paying day at 172. I've had a couple of over 300 days, so I have worked though. My mileage is 1,560, which is about right, 300 and something a day. 39 hours driving, 49 hours duty, and £1,255 money. And that works out with plus VAT is 1,506. Take off the £150.60, it's £1,355, which works out £271 a day. So really happy with that. And my mileage, pence per mile, is 87 pence. So it looks like the fitter's just turned up. So I'm going to end this video and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.